Number 51, introducing The Adventures of Flat Randy.
You might think by the side of him there's not much to see. He's wafer thin, just a paper man, destined for the garbage can. But he's more than two dimensions. He's got big dreams and bold intentions, there is no doubt. Just listen to me and you'll find out that he's more than a paper man.
A new Randy the Rutabaga series of stories, written by Beepa Ammett, inspired by the original author of Flat Stanley, Jeff Brown, illustrated by Beepa Ammett. Randy the Rutabaga was sitting at home in his favorite easy chair. Randy was pretty excited. Beepa had just called and told Randy about one of the Rutababies' exciting news that she would soon be in a play. The Musical Adventures of Flat Stanley Jr. Live performance April 8th, 9th, and 10th, 2022 at the Stage in Winter Springs. Introducing Kennedy K. Ulin, not playing Flat Stanley. Randy had never heard of Flat Stanley before, so he did a little research. From Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, Flat Stanley is an American children's book series written by Jeff Brown. The idea of the book began as a bedtime story for Brown's sons. By 2003, the Flat Stanley series had sold almost 1 million copies in the United States, and the story had been translated into French, German, Spanish, Italian, Japanese, and Hebrew. The book tells of the adventures of Stanley Lambchop after he is squashed flat by a bulletin board while sleeping. He survives and decides to make the best of being flat. Soon, he discovers that Flat Stanley can visit friends in California by mailing himself in an envelope. Eventually, Stanley becomes tired of his flatness, and his brother restores his proper shape with a bicycle pump. Oh my! Randy had never heard of Flat Stanley before, but thought how fun it would be able to mail yourself all over the world to see your friends. Why, Randy had friends all over, and thinking about it put a big smile on Randy's face. Just think of it. Just an envelope, a stamp, and whoosh! Off on a great adventure. And with that thought in Randy's head, he fell asleep. Soon Randy was fast asleep, but his mind went into overdrive. He needed to find the answer to how to become like Flat Stanley. Think. Dream. How to become Flat Randy? Flattened by a bulletin board? It would hurt. I could be turned into mush. And I don't have a bulletin board. Come up with a scientific way to change three-dimensional objects into two-dimensional objects. Think. I don't know. Randy tried different math equations, but still could not come up with a way to become like Flat Stanley. Think. Then, boing! Oh. Randy remembered an old TV show, Star Trek. The crew was able to change their matter so it could be sent through space to different places. Now, if Randy could come up with the formula to change matter from three-dimensional to two-dimensional, let's see. Rest frame S, and then moving the frame at the velocity of light over square root of that. And that was it. Just a little adjustment to his printer copier, and voila! Randy was sure he had come up with a way to get flattened without getting squished. He could hardly wait to travel around the world and see his friends again. Randy sat at his desk and wrote down the addresses of all the people he wanted to visit. He even calculated the postage it would take to get there and back. Randy would put a return envelope with his BIPA's address and stamps already attached. When he was ready to go home, he would have his friend put him in the return envelope and have him drop off at the post office. Everything was in place except for one little thing. That one little thing was to get BIPA to push the copy button on the copy machine and then put Flat Randy in an envelope and mail him to a new adventure. Better call BIPA. The end.